Have you ever wondered about this little voice you have in your mind? The one you're always communicating with that tells you what's right and what's wrong, and tells you exactly what you want to do and when you want to do it. The voice that starts talking to you the second you get a moment to think. For a very long time, psychologists have been trying to give this voice a name and meaning. Today, I am going to explain one idea behind it. The philosophy of the id, the ego, and the superego. Welcome to Psychology ABC, my new series where I will be breaking down complex psychological theories and ideas as easily as A, B, and C. According to philosopher and psychologist Sigmund Freud, this little voice inside of you is actually not one, but three different voices. The id, the ego, and the superego. Imagine these voices as three little people that follow you around and constantly argue about every little thing that you do. The id is the youngest one. She's impatient and intolerant. She hates being told what to do or doing things that she finds boring. She's also too young to think about consequences or emotions and only cares about having fun. The superego is the stiff grandparent. He knows exactly what's right and what's wrong. He knows to be kind and always respect other people, and he expects you to always live up to a certain moral standard, even if you don't feel like doing it. The ego is like the big brother. He uses logic and common sense to find a good balance between the id and the superego. He understands that life can be difficult sometimes, and that you have to do what's best for you, whether it's right or wrong. Here is an example of how these voices might interact in your everyday life. Imagine that you're at the supermarket and you see that they have a really good price on candy. You know that candy is bad and unhealthy, but the id voice in you tells you how good it looks, how cheap it is, and that a couple of candies won't hurt you. But the superego realizes what the id is doing and convinces you that the supermarket is just trying to manipulate you and make you spend more money on things that you don't really need or want. Finally, the ego realizes what's going on. He understands that you're craving something sweet, but also something that is not too unhealthy. So he recommends that you buy a sweet fruit or some chewing gum instead. Now it's up to you to make a final choice. The voices have finished arguing, and all the cards are on the table. Some people might prefer the id as their dominant voice. Those people are usually more impulsive and spontaneous. They listen to no one but themselves. They consider happiness and adventure to be the most important aspects of life. If a person's dominant voice is the superego, they will usually be very reliable, serious, and hardworking. They can tell right from wrong, and they understand that you won't get anywhere without proper discipline. Finally, if a person's dominant voice is the ego, they will generally be very careful and thoughtful. They will approach every new situation with consideration, and they will make sure that everyone is happy. It's not uncommon for most people to have a combination of all three. But most people will have one voice that is louder than the rest. Which one are you?